Hello fans, welcome to Man Utd Transfer HQ. Stay updated with the latest transfer gossip and breaking news.
Our first news is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer points the blame for Ruben Amorim's Man United struggles. Manchester United have been frankly awful since Ruben Amorim's arrival at Old Trafford, and ex-Red Devils boss Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has picked out a major problem amid their poor season. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows where things are going wrong for Ruben Amorim at Manchester United, and doesn't believe it's fully his fault. The Red Devils have been woeful since the Portuguese coach was appointed as Erik ten Hag's successor at Old Trafford. He has won just 5 of his 16 Premier League games so far, leaving United sitting 14th in the table. A number of players have struggled to fit into Amorim's stubborn 3-4-2-1 formation so far. And Solskjaer believes the issues start from the squad being made up of stars being signed under a host of previous managers. Asked if there is too much of a sacking culture at Old Trafford by The Athletic, the Norwegian replied, "That's for the people at the top of United, but an issue is that the manager plays with the previous manager's players that I just remember a great time at United apart from the last 6 weeks. Great people, and the culture is in the people. Going back to United was like going back to my family, like I'd never been away. But Besiktas also feels like a family club, with respect for each other. There are members of staff who've been here for 10, 20, 30 years. Solskjaer, 52, spent nearly 3 years at Old Trafford, going trophyless before he was eventually sacked in November 2021 following a shocking defeat to Watford. And while things went wrong for Solskjaer with United, he remains proud of the work he did at the club given the challenges he faced. Those last 6 weeks were hard, I can't deny that, but we were also top of our Champions League group, Solskjaer added. It was the 2 games against City and Watford that did it, but I maintain that finishing second and third in my 2 full seasons wasn't bad given the level in the Premier League. We also reached a European final, but I see what Jose Mourinho means when he says that his best achievement was getting his United side to second in the league. Back to the present day, under fire Amorim has a chance to make it back-to-back victories this season over the coming week. United take on Real Sociedad in the Europa League on Thursday ahead of a clash with Arsenal in the Premier League a few days later. Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our second news is Man United news. Ruben Amorim hits back at Roy Keane as Alejandro Garnacho gesture revealed. Manchester United's midweek win against Ipswich was overshadowed by Alejandro's behavior after being substituted, while Roy Keane has been vocal about his former club. As Manchester United prepare for their FA Cup 5th round meeting with Fulham on Sunday, the fallout from their midweek victory over Ipswich continues. Ruben Amorim picked up a much-needed win against Kieran McKenna's side, but the victory wasn't without incident. Patrick Dorgu was sent off for United, while Alejandro Garnacho's reaction to being substituted early, moments after that red card, has hit the headlines. Amorim has been speaking to the media ahead of the weekend cup tie, as he looks to continue a defense of the trophy won under Erik ten Hag last season. Victory on Sunday could do wonders for morale ahead of Premier League games against Arsenal and Leicester as United aim to get points on the board going into the March international break. The United head coach's comments are the main focus going into the weekend, with an update provided on Garnacho. Here are Mirror Football's latest lines from around Old Trafford. Amorim hits back at Keane. Ruben Amorim has made it clear he disagrees with Roy Keane over the former United captain's stance on Bruno Fernandes. Current skipper Fernandes has borne the brunt of Keane's criticism during a season which the Red Devils have predominantly spent in the bottom half of the Premier League table. I heard about that, I have a different opinion, Amorim said. Bruno is really important for us in the club, especially for me. He's playing well in a difficult context and he always wants the responsibility. I know as a captain he does things sometimes with his arms, criticizing his teammates, but most of all it's a bit of frustration. He wants to win and sometimes it's difficult to deal with that frustration. Roy Keane has big standards from his time. But I think my opinion is more important than Roy Keane's because I am the coach. United boss Amorim confirmed Alejandro Garnacho promised to buy dinner for his colleagues after his actions on Wednesday. Garnacho went straight down the tunnel after being sacrificed during the midweek victory, but Amorim has played down talk of any rift. "He came to me," Amorim told reporters. "It was funny because, the next day he came to my office and I did some investigations that he went to the dressing room, changed his clothes because he was wet, and he watched the rest of the game, but not on the bench. At the end of the game he was there and then he went home. So it's not an issue. But, at a big club like Manchester United, everything is important and perception is important. So he's going to pay for a dinner for all of the team and that's it." Stay tuned for more updates on Man Utd Transfer HQ, transfer moves, player signings, and latest news. Don't miss subscribe for more update. Our third news is Bruno Fernandes apology rejection, Roy Keane's calls to strip captain, Casemiro. Bruno Fernandes has seen a wealth of ups and downs since arriving at Old Trafford in January 2020, with former club captain Roy Keane taking a particular issue with the Portuguese midfielder. Roy Keane questioned whether Bruno Fernandes is the right man to lead Manchester United in a heated row with Ian Wright earlier this week. The two were discussing the current state of the Red Devils during a recent installment of The Overlap, when Keane said, "They draw at Everton, and it's like they've won the cup. Bizarre. I see fans at matches. They're singing for Bruno, these boys, I'm thinking, imposters." As Wright rushed to the midfielder's defense, Keane insisted, "I'm watching him, sit and watch a game. Sit and watch a game with him, in. We watched him in the FA Cup, and I watched him at Everton. People pretend to be closing people down, continuing, we're 15th in the league, and he's saving them." Prior to United's 3-2 win over Ipswich, which saw them climb to 14th, praised the Lord, before adding, "Talent is not enough. Bruno is a talented player, but talent is not enough. It's not enough, righty. Bruno is not a fighter. You want someone going, lads, are you with me? Are you with me? It's not the first time that Keane has taken issue with Fernandes since he arrived at Old Trafford in a £47 million move from Sporting CP in January 2020. But what have the former club captain's critiques of the current skipper looked like over the years? Here, Mirror Football breaks it down, from calls to revoke captaincy to being branded a baby. Row over Casemiro. Fernandes was quick to rush to the defense of Casemiro as the Brazilian midfielder was called out by Keane and Gary Neville in the wake of Manchester United's 3-0 thrashing from Liverpool earlier this season. Casemiro made two errors to allow Liverpool to take the lead before half-time in the game, before he was replaced by Toby Collier during the break. The 33-year-old was singled out by Keane and Neville as they analysed the match, but Fernandes later asked pundits not to dig out individual players while defending Casemiro's off day. He explained at the time, "The goals are always self-inflicted. You need to commit a mistake to give them the goal. We don't need to be pointing fingers at everyone, that won't help us now. When you concede a goal you can't just point at one mistake. What's the point in saying Casemiro lost the ball or Kobbie Mainoo lost the ball? They lost the ball because they wanted to be brave. It's part of football. Don't make it individual. Casemiro is more experienced than me. I don't need to tell him anything, he knows what football is about. He's played for the two best clubs in the world." Erik ten Hag also backed Casemiro to bounce back from his errors, explaining, "You know the game, he knows the game." Don't miss subscribe for more Man United transfer news. Our last news is Marco Silva eyes Man United scalp and FA Cup glory after acknowledging Fulham change. Fulham face Manchester United on Sunday in the FA Cup and Marco Silva, after a brilliant 4 years at Craven Cottage, is desperate to write the famous old club's name in the history books. Marco Silva grew up watching the FA Cup, and now wants to write Fulham's name into the history books. Fulham boss Silva, 47, used to watch cup games with his dad Joaquim and would dearly love to make his own mark on the competition. Silva has done a brilliant job in his 4 years at Craven Cottage, but winning the FA Cup would elevate him to a different level among the fans. It would also be Fulham's first major trophy, and there is a buzz of excitement ahead of the 5th round trip to Manchester United on Sunday. Portuguese Silva said, "I'm getting a bit older, the only chance for us to watch some football from different countries in Portugal, the main one was the FA Cup, to be honest. The chance for us was to see some important games live on TV from the FA Cup, semi-finals for sure, finals for sure. We grew up watching the competition. I know what it means, I know that it's the oldest competition in the world. I really love the competition, I think the cups and the main cups, I'm not disrespectful with the Carabao Cup, that is really important too. But the main cups in each country are really important because it means an opportunity for all the clubs in the country to fight for something important. Some clubs now dream of something that probably was impossible for them to achieve. Now it's another opportunity for us to go and win a competition that is important for us. It's not just about myself, I want to make a statement or stamp something important. It's about us as a club, it's about us as a group. For me, the best way to do it is to think of the next game as the most important one, and now it's going to be the FA Cup against Man United. I think we are in this part of the club that we want to fight really hard to achieve something important for the club. If you are going to achieve or not, we are going to see after each game. But the next one is the most important for us, and we want to put all our faith, confidence and hard work, quality as well, because we like to do it with quality, to try to be in the next round of the competition. Silva took a different approach in midweek by actually giving the likes of Alex Iwobi, Anthony Robinson and Raul Jimenez a breather at Wolves, and they still won 2-1, ahead of the FA Cup tie at Manchester United. That comes from a very harsh lesson learned 3 years ago when Silva rested players for a Carabao Cup tie at Crawley Town, and promptly got dumped out. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to Man United Transfer HQ, and turn on notifications so you're always in the loop with the latest transfer news and rumors.